Good morning. My name is Jihuan Zhang, and I'm from the Cloud Transformation Service Planning team of NIA. Today, I'm going to introduce to you our cloud migration project. Nowadays, we are moving rapidly to digital economy, and we can see the paradigm shift to subscription or sharing economy across all socio-economic sectors. It's the same for ICT development and operation environment. It's fast changing from building and owning IT to renting and sharing in cloud. Leading countries like the US and UK have announced the Cloud First or Cloud Smart initiatives to modernize IT. The Korean government is also working on a project where information systems of administrative agencies and public institutions are migrated to cloud so we can improve the IT environment. So now we are going to find out more about the Korean government's cloud migration project targeting the information systems of administrative and public institutions. We are going to have a look at the background, policies, and contents of the project. Our goal today is to find out about these three things. The presentation has three parts, and I'm going to go in the order as you can see in this page. First, let's get an overview of the project. Before we move on, we need to understand the concept of cloud computing. Cloud computing is a technology that enables a user to have access to IT resources like hardware and software through the internet and other networks whenever needed. You can borrow any IT resource, such as a server or network, at the right time and pay for the use. If we take an example in real life, we have Google Drive, which I'm sure many of you are already using. If you see the illustration, for example, we had a well in each house and we had to fetch water from the well in the past. But now we have water supply from modernized, large-scale supply point delivered to our homes through water pipes, and we pay for the amount of water we actually use. Just like the water supply, the environment has changed from where each business had its own systems built and owned, to where we can use timely services whenever we need through the hyperscaled cloud centers, which are provided by specialized providers. Next, let's have a look at the types of cloud computing. According to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, there are three service types of cloud computing: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. IaaS means infrastructure as a service, and it offers servers, networks, and other IT infrastructure in form of a service. PaaS means platform as a service, and it provides OS and middleware like web or web application servers and development or distributed environment on top of the infrastructure. SaaS means software as a service, and it's in form of applications provided on the IaaS or PaaS. It means you don't have to install software on your PC, but you can still use it as a form of cloud service through the internet. If you look at the right side, you can see NHN Cloud, Naver Cloud, Platform, and KT Cloud. These are the major CSPs in Korea. CSP is a cloud service provider, which means a business offering cloud computing services. Globally, we have Amazon Web Service and Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, for example. There are three reasons why the Korean government decided to work on the cloud migration project, but the biggest reason was the issues and operational limitations of the existing systems. Because the systems and computing facilities in the public sector were too old, we need to replace them with new or better ones. Also, there were outdated equipment, small computing centers, and lack of specialized manpower, which made us respond poorly to any errors or security incidents. And this had to be improved too. Also, there was an increasing need for prompt and flexible response from the public sector toward urgent demand from the citizens, such as in responding to COVID-19. So, based on all of these citizen demand, the need to change outdated systems and the need for cloud usage promotion, we came to start the cloud migration project. The target of information system migration to cloud is the administrative agencies and public institutions as defined in the Article number 2 of the Electronic Government Act. Here, the administrative agencies include central administrative agencies and their affiliates and local governments. The public institutions are corporations, organizations, local government invested public corporations, local government public corporations, and special corporations, as defined in the Act on the Management of Public Institutions and the Local Public Enterprise Act. As for main contents of the project, first, we are going to build a government-wide cooperation framework for cloud migration and improve laws and regulations for stable use and promotion of cloud. Second, we will keep working on cloud migration every year based on the plan for cloud migration as announced by the Ministry of the Interior and Safety in July 2021. Third, we are going to consider private cloud first in the migration process and develop and apply usage models so a variety of private cloud services can be used in the public sector. Fourth, we are going to use SaaS first before migrating to IaaS so we can promote use of private SaaS. We will go into more details in the next chapter. Next, we are going to have a more closer look at the main contents of the project. The first one is building foundation. To build a government-wide cooperation framework for cloud migration project, we have established a wide range of governance bodies. For example, the Information Resource Integration Review Committee, Private Council for Public Sector Cloud, and Information Resource Integration Working Group. We revised the law so when we built a new information system for the public sector, or replace any information system for operation or management, we could use cloud services of the private sector first. This page shows the procedures of our cloud migration project. First, we conduct a cloud migration demand survey for administrative agencies and public institutions if they want to migrate to cloud. And then we go through interviews with the institutions and decide whether to carry on with the migration. Second, we move on to detailed designing, where we investigate the current conditions, decide migration methods, measure infrastructure capacity, calculate migration costs and usage fees. Next, we set up the environment for cloud computing service migration, move application programs to cloud, transfer data, and then conduct inspection. Next, we run pilot operation to find out if the cloud environment is working and convert to cloud service. And then we support service stability by providing technical assistance and maintenance for 2 months after migration. And last but not least, we provide support in the areas of emergency response, monitoring, and security control for smooth service use. So that was about it for the contents of the migration project. And now I'm going to talk about usage models, which takes another part of the cloud migration project. The usage model pilot project is being carried out based on the technical expertise, capital, and experience of CPS, and is promoted by the cooperation of public and private sector. There are many types of public institutions, and each of them have different features and conditions. We are working on the usage models as a pilot project so that cloud computing services can settle in the public sectors in many different forms. We are working on the project based on the laws and guidelines as introduced in this page. The procedures of the usage model pilot project go from submitting requests to selecting organization, reviewing, adjusting, and finalizing tests, selecting CSP and contracting, and then to implementing the pilot project. If we look into the roles of each stakeholder, the local governments and CSPs build a cloud-based environment where the information systems of local governance can be integrated and managed all together. And then Ministry of the Interior and Safety and we at NIA take the overall management of the project and make sure the pilot project is smoothly carried out. If we take a look at SaaS again, it's software as a service and is in form of application run on IaaS or PaaS. You don't have to install the software on your PC, but can still use it as a cloud-based service on the internet. To encourage public institutions to use SaaS, which is developed in the private sector, we check first whether SaaS can be used in the detailed designing stage of system migration. We first check with simple systems that are essentially used in public institutions. For example, the mail system, book management system, recruitment system, and performance management system to see if they can use SaaS. If we are going to use SaaS, it should be linked to internal information of an administrative organization. So we are also providing support to build the foundation for such information link. And lastly, let's have a look at expected benefits and major achievements. We'll look at benefits first. First of all, we will have improved stability and security. Public institutions have systems dealing with personal information of citizens. It's very important to protect this information. Therefore, using cloud has a significant merit in terms of safety and security. Second, we will have improved efficiency and performance of information systems. As I have mentioned earlier, the concept of cloud service is more of a subscription or sharing economy, and is possible to learn flexibly based on demand. This means information resources can be used more efficiently. System performances can be also improved. We can start from cloud migration of administrative and public institutions and improve competitiveness of our domestic cloud service market and industry. We can also build public sector digital infrastructure which best fits in the fast changing digital demand. For instance, in cases like COVID-19 vaccination, booking, and other urgent demand for public services. Last but not least, we will save costs and contribute to carbon neutrality policies. We will be able to save costs through optimization and by practicing the subscription and sharing economy, and benefit from the planting effect through reduced amount of electricity and carbon energy consumption. And now, let's have a look at what we have achieved through the migration project in 2021. The open source software application rate has increased by 41%. The operation cost was reduced by 4.3 billion won, which is a 16 decrease. Regarding the system performance, the response time per second reduced by 36% from 1 to 0.65, and the TPS speed improved by 65.2%. CPU and memory also saved around 40% of the energy, which maximized efficient use of resources. Instead of the physical servers that had been operated in computing centers, we use CDC's highly efficient virtual servers, which led to 673 tons of less CO2 emissions, which is worth planting 100,000 trees. There is an example I want to introduce on how we solved the system overload in the vaccination booking system in Korea. When we built the vaccination booking system, there was a mistake in demand prediction, and both the web and web application server databases were overloaded. So we expanded the web and web application server and solved the issues with the database. After that, we ran the booking system in cloud and we had no problem even when more than 12 million people accessed for 10 minutes. This was because if we migrate to cloud, which is a virtual storage, we can process a lot more capacities and in the existing hardware servers and even expand the virtual space in case of an emergency. And I hope my explanations on the project could be helpful to you. So that was it for my presentation on the plan for cloud migration and integration administrative agencies and public institutions. Thank you.